This afternoon, members of Madison School Board want to give themselves a raise. How much it could cost.
Plus, what the UW had to say after News 3 Now revealed it was a customer of embattled beagle breeder Ridgeland Farms.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us at midweek. Good to have you here.
We made it to Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're starting right away with a look at your forecast. Savannah Brito is planning your next 24 hours. Savannah, what can we expect?
Well, we're going to expect dry conditions to continue now through at least Friday early morning. Temperature dropping to 70 at 9 p.m. and then we'll continue to see temps drop 66 by 11 p.m. and then heading into the midnight hour, 65. We're still going to fall another 5 degrees. Nighttime temperatures fall to about 60, and some of us might even see the upper 50s. I think that's mainly going to be west and northwest of Madison. Dry conditions tomorrow. Friday morning is when we could see a few showers return. I think the better chance holds off though until later, and more specifically even Saturday morning. That's going to stick around though Sunday and even into early next week, because we do have a stationary front that's going to stall to our south, and that allows us to get back to a little bit more of an active pattern, not only for Friday later in the day and the night, but then over the weekend and into early next week until that front continues to move further away from us. And then we are expecting drier weather conditions to return. That's as early as midweek next week.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Well, if you have friends or family that are going to be taking the Beltline in the next hour to get home from work, we want to let you know the Beltline is backed up. You can see it there. This is a live picture at Fish Hatchery Road. There is a crash in the 2 left lanes and they're closed. It's not clear yet how many cars were involved in this crash. We just received word about this incident at about 3:45, so we will keep you updated right here on News 3 Now and always online at channel3000.com.
We have some new information today. UW-Madison is responding to News 3 Now's reporting, revealing the school is a client of an embattled Blue Mounds beagle breeder accused of animal abuse. UW confirmed to us Ridgeland Farms supplied it with animals in the past. The school says it used the beagles for research studies on cancer prevention, organ transplants, vaccines, and other medical breakthroughs.
A statement from the university on the matter reads in part, quote, all animals UW-Madison receives from suppliers are screened to ensure they are healthy prior to inclusion in any research. If animals showed signs of poor treatment or mistreatment, the university would take issue with that and find another supplier.
Ridgeland denies abusing its beagles. News 3 Now has been covering this case for months now. You can find our extensive coverage of this story on channel3000.com and receive updates with the free mobile app.
Well, after a large property tax increase last year to pay for schools, the Madison School Board is looking to give itself a raise. At
this week's meeting, the board began discussing the stipend raise. Ellie LaLiberte joins us with a breakdown of what it could look like and why board members say it's needed.
At the last MMSD board meeting, a majority of members indicated they're in favor of potentially doubling their pay, a move that hasn't happened in the past decade. Right now, board members make about $8,000 a year, and the board president makes $300 more than that. Now, members are potentially looking at raising that number to $15,000 a year. There's also a proposal to add health and dental insurance. The board president, Nichelle Nichols, says it's time to increase based on the amount of work that the role requires.
We have to weigh the balance between what we've said to the community in terms of what we need to operate the district well, and also think about how board members play a critical role in decision making and stewarding the district's direction.
Let's compare Madison's pay to other districts in the state. The largest district, Milwaukee, board members make about $18,000 a year. Green Bay's at $7,500 and Kenosha makes about $6,500. Now, the Madison board is expected to bring a more completed version of both the stipend and insurance as a budget amendment at the September meeting.
All right, Ellie, thank you. Happening tonight, you have the chance to give your input on proposed fees for Madison parks. The proposed changes include standardizing replacement permits at $20, increasing special event permit costs by $25, raising charges for certain services tied to special events and shelter reservations, and adding fees to education programs to cover the cost of increased transportation expenses for camps and expensive field trips.
The Dane County Park Commission is meeting tonight at 5:30 to review the proposals, and there will be a chance for public comment. You can go in person at the Heritage Center on Lake Farm Road, and if you can't make it in person, you can attend over Zoom. There's a link to do that at this story on channel3000.com.
Crews are getting started on a housing project in Madison's Triangle neighborhood. The new structures will replace 5 decades-old buildings at what city officials are calling an affordable price. All current dwellers will get to stay with the promise of rent not increasing. The city says that's a big deal for the apartment's residents, as many are elderly, disabled, or low income.
This project is about more than just housing. It's about restoring a sense of community and neighborhood that fosters well-being and progress.
In total, the project is expected to create 1,200 new homes.
And we are continuing to cover the Packers while they train ahead of the regular season.
Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde was at training camp today, and he has analysis.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Jason Wilde in Green Bay. And while I'm here, the Packers are making their way to Indianapolis, where they have a joint practice scheduled for tomorrow, and then their second preseason game of the summer against the Colts on Saturday. Now, joint practices have become very popular in the NFL. When Matt LaFleur became the Packers coach in 2019, he brought the Houston Texans in for a joint practice with former Badger J.J. Watt among the players. It was the first time the Packers had brought another team in for a practice since 2005. That's how long it had been. Now, they had the problems with COVID, so they didn't have joint practices for a year or two, but they brought them back the last several years. Packers actually have 2 of them this year. They have the one in Indianapolis tomorrow, and then the Seattle Seahawks, who come to town for the preseason finale, will be in Green Bay for a practice next week, Thursday. That's it from here for today. Don't forget, visit channel3000.com for all your free coverage of the Packers, and don't forget to sign up for our newsletter so you can get all our Packers coverage delivered directly to your inbox. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Jason, thank you. Coming up a little later on Live at 4, we want to let you know Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will be here to answer your plant and garden questions. You can email them now to tips@channel3000.com, and Lisa will be on the show in our next half hour.
Well, today marks the start of Corn Fest in Sun Prairie.
Josh Spreiter joins us with all the fun you can expect at the event a little later in the 6:08.
And it might be dry for the rest of the week, but our first warned weather team is tracking potential rain this weekend. Savannah Brito has your forecast. Plus, as the world awaits a meeting between the U.S. and Russia on Friday, the president is already looking past that, what he wants to do next, when we're back. As the world awaits a conversation between President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin on Friday, we're learning more about the logistics of their meeting. The 2 presidents will discuss the war in Ukraine at a military base in Alaska. And that base was crucial to the countering the Soviet Union during the height of the Cold War. Ahead of that meeting, Ukrainian and other European officials have expressed fear that the one-on-one conversation will lead to an outcome that favors Russian goals. But earlier today, the president attempted to calm those concerns.
We'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself, if they'd like to have me there. And that would be a meeting where maybe it could be absolutely work. But the first meeting will not work that out.
Despite that characterization of Friday's meeting, President Trump says Russia will face severe consequences if Putin doesn't agree to end the war.
Tonight, people living in the nation's capital will see an expanded presence of the National Guard. The White House says a significantly higher presence will be on the ground later. The Guard began to appear in the city yesterday, a day after the president announced he was deploying them to crack down on crime. The president claims the issue is rampant despite law enforcement's information that shows crime has sharply decreased since last year.
Wall Street reached more records following a worldwide rally today. The Dow was up 464 points, rather. The S&P 500 is up 31 points. The NASDAQ is up 21 points.
YouTube is starting to test a new safety feature for its teenage users. The artificial intelligence estimation model distinguishes age regardless of the birth date entered when someone creates their account. If the tool determines that a user is younger than 18, standard protections will automatically go into effect. There are also safeguard recommendations, such as limiting repeated exposure to certain content. Users will have the option to prove that they are at least 18, such as with a government ID or a credit card.
Attention parents, if you have a recent high school graduate about to head off to college or enter the workforce, it's important to provide them with a strong financial foundation. And for parents, that first step often involves discussing who pays for items like rent, textbooks, meals, entertainment, or even contributions to household expenses. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has some other tips on how to set them up for success.
What we want to do is have the kids really start to say, what's all the income that is coming in? I have a work study if I'm in college, maybe I have part-time income. If I've got my first job out there in the labor force, how much am I earning? And track what you are spending. That is a habit that is adaptable and can really change as you get older. Once you have that down, you have the young adult responsible for the money coming in and the money going out.
And there's a variety of apps and programs that can help you track your spending, including Rocket Money and others. Experts say you can also use a spreadsheet for those expenses.
The Federal Trade Commission says last year Americans lost close to $790 million on scams where criminals pose as law enforcement or government officials.
And authorities nationwide are seeing a rise in an old scam that continues to claim victims. Megan Schiller has the story.
Melissa Stalter works from home, and the phone's always ringing, so when a strange number popped up, she didn't think twice.
And a gentleman was on the phone, and he said, "This is Sergeant Darren, and you were supposed to report to jury duty this morning at federal court, and you didn't, so there is now a benchmark out for your arrest."
Stalter said the man claimed he worked with law enforcement and the courts.
He had my address. He had my full name. He said that I am an upstanding citizen without any other prior convictions or issues with the law, which is true.
He told her she'd soon receive a phone call to pay a fine, and sure enough, a spoofed call with the name of her local county on the caller ID came in.
And I asked the gentleman his name, and I asked him to spell it. And then he got very irate and nasty and called me names. And I said, you know, if you're going to behave this way when I'm just asking a couple questions, I don't think this is right.
She's right. Later, her husband called the district attorney's office, and they found no record of her missing jury duty or owing any fines. And the local sheriff's office recently issued public service announcements about the rise in this type of scam. Stalter says it felt so convincing, and she fears for others.
When my husband and I talked about it afterwards, I was like, if they would have called my mom, I think she would have paid it.
Scam artists are not only calling, many people are now getting text messages, often from spoof numbers that look legitimate. Megan Schiller, CBS News, Pittsburgh.
And let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Savannah Brito is here. Savannah?
Well, dry weather conditions are going to luckily continue into Thursday. That's before more rain chances increase. Friday could see a few. We'll walk you through that, but I think the best chance holds off until over the weekend. We've got the upper 80s to end the week. It's possible in a couple spots across southern Wisconsin Friday. More likely, though, widespread upper 80s, maybe even a couple of 90s on Saturday. We'll fall through the rest of the evening and tonight. Temperatures expected to drop to about 60 tonight. I think a couple spots, though, could even drop into the mid to upper 50s. Similar to what we had earlier today waking up with. And then tomorrow afternoon, a couple clouds come into play. Winds are back out of the south. That'll warm us up a couple degrees past what we saw this afternoon. Those temperatures get up to about the lower 80s, maybe a couple spots as early as the mid 80s. But like I said, I think that's more likely to follow that. Then the shower chances for Friday, Thursday night into Friday, I think we could see a few. It's more likely for areas up near La Crosse, Viroqua, maybe Boscobel. We're expecting quiet weather, and most of these showers are expected to fizzle out actually once they cross the Mississippi and travel further into southern Wisconsin. So I even think the lunchtime hour on Friday, mostly dry. I just think we'll have more cloud cover and slightly warmer temperatures, definitely warmer dew points during that time frame as well. A little bit of wildfire smoke that's going to move in. You can see the blues, light to even moderate levels just to our north. This is expected to increase then as we head for Thursday and the rest of Friday. I think hazy conditions are going to continue. Not as bad as what we have previously seen the earlier parts of summer, though. As far as humidity, little humid, that can be expected. Those conditions tomorrow afternoon and evening, but they ramp up on Friday and into the weekend. That's when they come up to at least 70, maybe even 75-degree dew points again, unfortunately, over this upcoming weekend. That'll take us into early next week. With the humidity that returns, so do our storm chances. So a stationary front that's going to stall across northern Illinois just to our south. That'll allow us to get into a little bit more of an active pattern with shower chances sticking around not only for Saturday and Sunday over the weekend, but even into early next week too. So that includes Monday and Tuesday before drier weather conditions are expected to return as that front moves away from us and not necessarily overhead anymore. That's when you can expect our pattern to turn quiet again, and I do think that'll happen mid to late week next week. Temperatures during that time frame are also expected to drop, maybe even a couple of mid-70s. We're expecting the upper 70s, though, as early as Tuesday, but more comfortable weather will return Wednesday. Our dew points are going to be lower as well. And check out our nighttime temperatures. 61 next Tuesday night, next Wednesday night, 59. I think a lot of us will actually fall into the upper 50s, and then a few of us, mainly west and northwest of Madison, may even see the temperatures drop during the night anyways, down into the mid-50s. So the next couple of nights comfortable, and then we have to get through the weekend into early next week before we start to see more comfortable afternoon temps and nighttime temperatures as well.
Oh, sounds pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, all right.
Give the AC a little bit of a breather soon.
Whew. Savannah, thank you. We're coming up on Live at 4. It's Corn Fest in the 608.
Josh Breiter has a preview for us when we're back.
In the 608, the Sun Prairie Sweet Corn Festival begins today.
You were just asking me if I've had any sweet corn yet. Got to get to Sun Prairie. Josh Breiter is there with a preview of all the fun.
Well, we are all geared up for Corn Fest, which officially kicks off later today. Let me just get into full corn mode right now. We've got Christina Williams from the Sun Prairie Chamber of Commerce joining us today. Christina, good to see you. Thanks for having us out.
Thank you for coming out. What a great morning.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So this is fantastic. You've got me all geared up for good reason because you guys are getting ready for one of the biggest events of the year for Sun Prairie.
Yes, it's our biggest festival. It's super exciting. Come on out for the corn.
What is Corn Fest all about for you guys here in Sun Prairie?
Yeah, so the star of the show is the steamed corn on Saturday and Sunday. But most people don't know that this is our largest fundraiser for 6 different service organizations, nonprofits in our community. And so every dollar that is raised for this festival goes back into our community to support veterans and students and just scholarships. It's touching all over Sun Prairie.
That's what's so amazing because you get to come out, you get to have a good time, you get to eat corn, you get to be with your family, but you're giving back, and that's really what it's all about.
It really is. Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously things kick off later tonight with a parade, and you got a few days of events. Then come Saturday and Sunday only when you can come get the corn.
That is the only 2 days you can come get the corn. You can go to sunprairiecornfest.com to get the lineup. But we have 5 bands throughout the weekend. They start tonight at the block party with the Dirty Birds. And then we have 2 bands on Saturday, which is brand new. So in the afternoon, we have Mad City Funk, and then we have Super Tuesday. But Friday, we have Madison County, and La Movida will be here on Sunday, just doing all kinds of fun stuff on the main stage. And you know, while you're in town, we have a new thing going on here. So new in Sun Prairie, we have the murals, only 2 blocks from here. Come to the festival, enjoy all of it, and then head up and check out those murals. They're beautiful.
Love that, lots to enjoy. All right, talk us through the corn process, because this is pretty cool to see this in action.
Yes, absolutely. So people will buy their tickets or their tote out at the ticket booth, and they'll come in through the center door, and then they will come up and they will stand in line and wait. There is corn being dumped on the end of the conveyor belt, someone raking it onto the conveyor belt, and we have people like yourself standing here waiting for the corn to come. Once it's near them, they'll turn around, I'll put my tote here, and they'll start filling the tote. And then they'll take their super hot corn and they will go over to a table where they will shuck it themselves. And then they'll take it to the butter kids, and we have blocks of butter that the kids roll it in.
Gotta have the butter.
And just get it super buttered. And then they get to take it outside the building to our famous salt tree, and they can put as much salt as they want, or they can skip it if they are wanting to.
Well, there you go.
You know, who doesn't want a little salt?
You gotta
on
have
their
a
corn?
little salt, a little salt. All right, before we go, we gotta get our picture over here, Christina. If people want to learn more, you can go up to the story up on channel3000.com. Cornfest is where it's going to be this weekend. In Sun Prairie, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, guys. I love that hat. Thank you so much. Later on News 3 Now, we'll actually get a live look at what's going on at Cornfest.
Yeah, Armand Rahman is going full corn mode, too, in our next half hour from Sun Prairie.
Coming up on Live at 4, how a woman who attacked a bus driver, causing him to crash into a restaurant, pleaded in court.
And where Wisconsin health officials have confirmed cases of West Nile in mosquitoes.
Watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Live at 4 on this sunny Wednesday.
Yeah, always glad to spend this time with everyone. And the weather words today are a few dry days ahead.
This is the farmers market up on the Capitol Square.
Great day to be out there today. Savannah Brito has your first forecast.
Well, we're going to expect dry conditions to continue now through at least Friday early morning. Temperature dropping to 70 at 9 p.m. and then we'll continue to see temps drop 66 by 11 p.m. and then heading into the midnight hour, 65. We're still going to fall another 5 degrees. Nighttime temperatures fall to about 60, and some of us might even see the upper 50s. I think that's mainly going to be west and northwest of Madison. Dry conditions tomorrow. Friday morning is when we could see a few showers return. I think the better chance holds off, though, until later, and more specifically even Saturday morning. That's going to stick around, though, Sunday and even into early next week, because we do have a stationary front that's going to stall to our south, and that allows us to get back to a little bit more of an active pattern, not only for Friday later in the day and the night, but then over the weekend and into early next week until that front continues to move further away from us. And then we are expecting drier weather conditions to return. That's as early as midweek next week.
Thank you, Savannah. We are continuing our coverage of the arrest on Bird Street in Sun Prairie. It was all caught on camera and is causing controversy after circulating online.
In the video, you see Sun Prairie police tasing and eventually handcuffing Jerry Clark, a 37-year-old Sun Prairie man. Yesterday, Sun Prairie police addressed the video, saying that they are open to dialogue with the community. On the video, News 3 Now's Jalen Banks will, as you're about to see, caught up with Sun Prairie's police chief on what the next steps are.
This is the scene Saturday of police subduing Jerry Clark. And this scene, caught on video by witnesses, is causing people in Sun Prairie and residents on Bird Street to ask questions. News 3 Now caught up with Sun Prairie's police chief about the video and concerns residents may have. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, my message is, let's have that conversation. Let's sit down and have that conversation and work together to make that. We've been very open with the community of all the incidents recently in the 400 block of South Bird Street. And we as a community need to come together to have these conversations, to work together to determine what is best for Sun Prairie.
Sun Prairie police say they will now do a departmental review of the reports made and body cam footage to ensure the officers' actions were consistent with their training and the law. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from residents in Sun Prairie on Saturday's incident and what they would like to see from police. For now, reporting in Sun Prairie, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Jalen, thank you. The woman accused of attacking a Madison Metro driver in February, causing him to crash the bus into a restaurant, pleaded guilty today. This afternoon, 26-year-old Raven Johnson pleaded guilty to second-degree recklessly endangering safety and attempted battery to a public transit operator. Prosecutors say Johnson attacked the bus driver as he said the route was not going to her destination. The attack caused the driver to lose control of the bus, crashing into the Asian House on Dempsey Road. Johnson will be sentenced on October 10th.
Rock County Public Health says mosquitoes in the area have tested positive for West Nile. It marks the first cases of the virus in the county this year. Mosquito surveillance started in July. No human cases have been reported in Rock County yet. West Nile spreads to humans and animals from infected mosquito bites. It cannot be spread from contact with someone infected. Symptoms include fever, headache, fatigue, muscle aches, and rash.
A local food pantry is growing. The Badger Prairie Needs Network celebrated the grand opening of its newly expanded warehouse today. The ceremonial ribbon cutting on the $4.6 million project was this morning. The expansion doubles the facility's capacity and will increase food distribution. It also paves the way for more services, including health screenings, clinics, and housing support.
We all share a belief that no one should go hungry. And it's not just about the bricks and mortar. It's about investing in a stronger and more equitable Dane County, not just for today, but for generations to come.
The food pantry serves over 700 families weekly, and they'll now be able to hold and distribute up to 4 million pounds of food each year.
Nakoma Road will not shut down to traffic today. The city of Madison says recent weather patterns and water main protection is forcing them to push the start date of the road project back. The new date is August 27th, and Nakoma will shut down from Tumalo Trail to Manitou Way. Cherokee Drive will also fully close at the Nakoma Road intersection. Buses and local traffic will be rerouted on Manitou Way for both directions of travel.
Well, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company just walked into the studio, and she'll be joining us a little later to answer your plant and garden questions. You can go ahead and email them now at tips@channel3000.com. Lisa will be on the show in the next 15 minutes. And here's your reminder that there are only a few days left to help with our Stuff the Bus campaign. We'll be collecting school supplies until this Friday for Dane County kids. You can drop off your donations at any Dane County Walgreens or Boys and Girls Club location. And if you can't make a donation that way, consider buying something from our Amazon wish list. You can find the link to that at this story on channel3000.com.
Well, this is one of Madison's most beloved traditions, and now it's celebrating the state's roots.
We'll tell you what to expect at next week's special night market. That's coming up later on Live at 4.
And Savannah is tracking a few dry days before some potential rain. She'll show you what to expect with weather in her first warn forecast.
Plus, Sun Prairie Corn Fest is underway. Arman Rahman is live at the event this afternoon, and he'll join us when Live at 4 returns. It's great weather for the Sun Prairie Corn Fest, which gets underway today.
Look at us, we're in a cornfield, our very own field.
We need the salt on a rope.
Arman Rahman is out there now with a look at what we can expect. Hey, Arman.
Hey, Brady and Susan, that's right. I've popped up here in Sun Prairie just like some popcorn for the 72nd annual Sweet Corn Festival here in Sun Prairie. At 6 o'clock here, the parade is going to be taking over Main Street, which is full right now of people already lining up their chairs, their mats, everything, so they can watch this parade go by. This is a huge deal right now in Sun Prairie. 5 days this festival is put on by the Chamber of Commerce, and 72 years of ears of corn, because according to one of the organizers, corn is a central part and is rooted in the history of Sun Prairie.
Sun Prairie has its history in agriculture. So this is a celebration of our history for this community. And we also had the Stokely Canning Company, which I think might have been the Economowalk Canning Company, here in our town. And it really kind of started with them. So we just want to continue the tradition of celebrating where we came from in this community, and we don't ever want to lose sight of that.
And this is named one of the best food festivals in the Midwest, which you will see here because right now, Thursday and Friday will be carnivals and kind of live music and fun activities. Saturday and Sunday is what everyone is all ears for. It's that uncooked and sweet corn, which I'm told people walk around just with the boxes of corn up to the salt trees to take some salt on them. So it is a huge deal. It's corn everywhere. This becomes a little corner pocket of the Midwest here of Dane County as Sun Prairie gets ready for the Sweet Corn Festival. I'll be here for the rest of the evening and for that parade. So tune in on News 3 Now for the latest on that. For now, reporting in Sun Prairie live, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Arman.
Have fun, Arman.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, send us your plant questions. You can do that at tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs will join us when we're back.
And later, what to expect at the special Wisconsin-themed night market next week. Well, we're taking your plant and garden questions today.
Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here, and you can email the questions at tips@channel3000.com.
Hello, guys.
Hey, nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys, too.
I saw you at the farmer's market over the weekend.
You did. You got to meet my grandson.
Yeah.
You lucky duck.
I really wanted to yell, Lisa, the plant lady from TV, but I decided
I get enough of that at work. Thank you very much.
I'll give you peace.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, our first question, Rhonda in Lodi. She says, I have an 8-foot-tall coral honeysuckle that is resistant to powdery mildew. We treat it with baking soda and dish soap with little success. Do you have any ideas?
Okay, so a couple of things, Rhonda. Powdery mildew, if it's really bad, you really have to bring out a fungicide that is rated for powdery mildew. There are a number of them on the market. I particularly like one called Revitalize. That's what I use on my peonies. But what you're going to want to do, though, is do a really good cleanup this fall. Get all that leaf litter out of there, because powdery mildew has a very sophisticated overwintering structure, and if you leave that leaf litter on the ground and the conditions are right next year, it will just reinfect.
Okay.
The good news is it's not going to hurt your plant in the long term, but it does look pretty dreadful.
And what was that product called again?
Revitalize is my favorite.
Okay, good. Good to know. Our next question is from Sandy in the town of Dunn. She has 6 hydrangeas. Only one of them is blooming, and she says all of them bloomed last year.
Okay. So she says she goes on to say it's vanilla strawberry, which is a panicled or a PG hydrangea, and those do bloom on new wood. So it's not likely that any kind of pruning schedule is causing this. PG hydrangeas can take a fair amount of shade, but they're going to need a solid 5 to 6 hours to get really good flowering. And I'm wondering if, you put plants in and then other things grow up, and by the time they're in 6 or 7 years, there's more shade than there was when you planted them. So that might be my guess. But send a photo to the plant desk and we'll see if there's something else going on. But that's my guess. It's a shade
what's
issue.
that email address for the plant desk?
plantdesk@brucecompany.com.
That's one to bookmark.
Yes.
Well, Judy says, I had a flowering crab cut down and it keeps sending up new growth from the trunk. How can I stop that without killing the perennials around it?
So there are a couple things you can do. You can just keep removing them, but there is a product, and I think it's called something very unimaginative like Stump Kill. And basically it's a powdered product, and you drill some holes in the old stump and put this powdery product in there. It goes into the root system of the tree, and it doesn't bother anything else. I had an ash in a big hosta bed, and the hostas are fine. So go ahead and use that, and that will help a lot.
Okay, that's great. Our next question, this is a good one. What causes the yellow leaves on the bottom of dahlias? She said she hasn't had to water them. They're blooming fine.
It could be an overwatering issue, a situation. We have had a lot of rain. She doesn't say if her dahlias are in pots or in the ground. It could also have been that really strong heat that we had. I know it's the temps have been more moderate lately, but heat does stress out perennials and shrubs alike and can cause yellowing leaves.
Okay.
Looks like we have time for one more. When can I cut down my daylilies?
Okay. I would leave them up for a little bit longer. Certainly take out the flowering stems. And then cut them down a little bit later when when you're doing your regular fall cleanup.
All right, very good.
But take out those flower stems.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks
you,
for your
Lisa.
questions, everybody. Lisa, great to see you.
Good to see you guys, too.
And here's a look at our first warn forecast. Savannah Brito is taking a look at the week ahead.
Well, dry weather conditions are going to luckily continue into Thursday. That's before more rain chances increase. Friday could see a few. We'll walk you through that, but I think the best chance holds off until over the weekend. We've got the upper 80s to end the week. It's possible in a couple spots across southern Wisconsin Friday. More likely, though, widespread upper 80s, maybe even a couple of 90s on Saturday. We'll fall through the rest of the evening and tonight. Temperatures expected to drop to about 60 tonight. I think a couple spots, though, could even drop into the mid to upper 50s similar to what we had earlier today waking up with. And then tomorrow afternoon, a couple clouds come into play. Winds are back out of the south. That'll warm us up a couple degrees past what we saw this afternoon. Those temperatures get up to about the lower 80s, maybe a couple of spots as early as the mid 80s. But like I said, I think that's more likely to follow that. Then the shower chances for Friday. Thursday night into Friday, I think we could see a few. It's more likely for areas up near La Crosse, Viroqua, maybe Boscobel. We're expecting quiet weather, and most of these showers are expected to fizzle out actually once they cross the Mississippi and travel further into southern Wisconsin. So I even think the lunchtime hour on Friday, mostly dry. I just think we'll have more cloud cover and slightly warmer temperatures, definitely warmer dew points during that time frame as well. A little bit of wildfire smoke that's going to move in. You can see the blues, light to even moderate levels just to our north. This is expected to increase then as we head for Thursday and the rest of Friday. I think hazy conditions are going to continue. Not as bad as what we have previously seen the earlier parts of summer, though. As far as humidity, little humid, that can be expected. Those conditions tomorrow afternoon and evening, but they ramp up on Friday and into the weekend. That's when they come up to at least 70, maybe even 75 degree dew points again, unfortunately, over this upcoming weekend. That'll take us into early next week. With the humidity that returns, so do our storm chances. So a stationary front that's going to stall across northern Illinois just to our south. That'll allow us to get into a little bit more of an active pattern with shower chances sticking around not only for Saturday and Sunday over the weekend, but even into early next week too. So that includes Monday and Tuesday before drier weather conditions are expected to return as that front moves away from us and not necessarily overhead anymore. That's when you can expect our pattern to turn quiet again, and I do think that'll happen mid to late week next week. Temperatures during that time frame are also expected to drop, maybe even a couple of mid-70s. We're expecting the upper 70s, though, as early as Tuesday, but more comfortable weather will return Wednesday. Our dew points are going to be lower as well. And check out our nighttime temperatures. 61 next Tuesday night, next Wednesday night, 59. I think a lot of us will actually fall into the upper 50s, and then a few of us, mainly west and northwest of Madison, may even see the temperatures drop during the night anyways, down into the mid-50s. The next couple of nights comfortable, and then we have to get through the weekend into early next week before we start to see more comfortable afternoon temps and nighttime temperatures as well.
Here's a live look at the Edgewater Sky Cam showing a view over the lake. Boy, great afternoon today to be lakeside. We're expecting a few dry days ahead of potential rainfall, so take advantage of it. The August 21st Madison Night Market will showcase Wisconsin culture with the theme this year, celebrating Wisconsin and its history.
Next week's activities include dueling pianos, playing polka music in Francis Plaza, visits from Milwaukee-based vendors like Blue Mountain and Lush Popcorn, and a historical walking tour of downtown. There will also be a new addition, Family Activity Zone, featuring a Clay on the Move van for pottery fans and a build-your-own mini rock climbing wall art project. Oh, that sounds fun. Stop by the night market from 5 to 9 p.m. to celebrate. You can pick up a free map for the historical walking tours at the Visitors Center on State Street. And the map for the market will be released tomorrow. It's always so much fun, that night market.
It is.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. Summer, we were just saying, summer is going fast. 2 more weeks of August.
We know what's coming after that.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Tomorrow on Live at 4, Josh Sprider is working for the weekend in the 608, and he has 3 things for you and your family to do. And coming up on News 3 Now at 5, members of the Madison School Board want a raise. We'll show you how much money they're asking for. Thanks for watching us today on Live at 4, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow. Remember, you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.